Hey everybody, Max Reimer here, your mortgage guy in Minnesota. There's been a lot of conversation about the rising cost of housing in the last half decade, and I think this story, if you're like me, you've seen it come across your timeline and is relevant to that conversation. Minnesotans will be facing about $1 billion worth of property tax increases over the entire state, accounting for about a 7% increase in 2026. That's not to say that property taxes are the only consideration that locks people out of their homes or kicks people out if they can't afford their home any longer, but it is certainly a significant factor when we take in loan applications and calculate the monthly cost of a home. Property tax increases can occur for a number of reasons decided by your local government. But there's one hidden cost that we don't talk about a lot when it comes to those increases, and that is what happens at the state level. When you look over the past 2 to 3 years, there were a number of mandates that were passed down to counties, municipalities, and school districts. I'll list out some here and here and here, and you can research them for yourself. But what we're experiencing is the worst of all worlds, where the mandate was passed down originally with state funding, and then when the state of Minnesota had about a $6 billion deficit, that funding was cut, but the mandate was kept on school districts and local communities. So when you're talking about property tax increases, there's the obvious, what your county has prioritized and what your local communities have prioritized, which increases the taxes that you're paying as a homeowner. But those property taxes are mainly owned by the homeowner when you don't live in a county that has high commercial volume, meaning that the cost that the homeowner pays in taxes is not offset by businesses paying taxes. And that's the majority, the vast majority of counties in Minnesota. And this is a real barrier to home ownership or staying in your home. A hidden conversation that we don't often have is that people who have lived in their home their entire lives are still paying those property taxes, which are ever increasing, it seems. We oftentimes talk about government spending within its means, and I personally think that's important. But when a higher level of government decides your means for you, and you are meant to steward something that was passed into law but not funded, this creates a precarious situation for municipalities, counties, and school districts, which places an unneeded burden on the homeowner. My only advice is to pay attention to what your state government is doing over the next few years, because there is a top-down tax issue that increases the burden for homeowners. Hopefully this has been helpful. I'm Max Reimer, your mortgage guy in Minnesota.